are proud. We hope all your companies graduate and become part of the listed communities, because that will be good for everyone, including us. So let me start here. Thank you, Ido, and Ron, the conversation, and everyone that's put this together. I'm Lisa Weitzman, co-founder of Blue Star Global Investors. We create investment products and funds focused on Israel for U.S. investors. This is recent, as of June 26th, we launched our first product, and I'll go into that more. Presentation is talking about funds. It's not as sexy as high-tech companies, but we feel it's important to make the case for Israel, and that's what I'll be spending a lot of my time on. First, I want to share with you all why Israel has been so important to me. And my mother was born Jewish in Poland, and she, during the war, she was raised Catholic, and she returned to Israel and reclaimed her Judaism. So Israel is quite dear and near to my heart, and it has been part of my whole life and experience. So Israel, and I think we've heard a lot from Orna and Audrey's presentation about all the great stocks on the NASDAQ, and it's really compelling that with 8 million people, Israel has more companies listed on the NASDAQ than any other country besides U.S. and China. And China and the U.S. have collectively 1.6 billion people, not 8 million. So it's a little country with big impact and big results. But as you know, when you read in the paper, it seems like Israel's only big on bad news sometimes. And the real challenges for us and collectively is how people view Israel. It's a small country in a difficult neighborhood. It's a place where charity dollars have gone, but not necessarily investment dollars, at least in the public markets, which is our area of focus for now. So you can see this a bit when this is an index of MSCI, which is the developed markets. Israel is considered a developed market, and Israel is only 2.2%. And oftentimes, because of this weighting, it gets overlooked. But what I want to share with you today is some of the features about Israel that you may or may not know, but is compelling. So, and kind of the fact that it's overlooked is illustrated in one example. When we started our company, we came across a federation that during Arab Spring, they were looking at their investment portfolio and evaluating the risk. And they discovered that more dollars were going into, actually the dollars were in Egypt and Turkey, and they had no investment in Israel. They were shocked by this, and they began their search for a product in Israel. If you're investing in Turkey and Egypt, you should certainly be in Israel. That's an easy sell for the neighborhood. So so I thought I'd cover a bit about the economy. You've heard a lot about it, so I'll just go through it. In fact, you know it's true because we use the same chart on the GDP, but I think what's important to highlight on the GDP is for Israel as a developed market, it's projected to be the fastest growing GDP, have the GDP growth of all developed markets for 2013, 14, and 15. And when you compare it to emerging markets, it's as strong, if not better, than Brazil and a couple other countries when I find my notes. But it still falls behind China, but as an emerging market, it is fast growing. So it really has the best of both worlds in terms of developed markets and emerging markets. And also, I don't know how many of you know, but Israel has had the recent discovery of natural gas, one of the largest discoveries in the world. And besides many great things about that, the fact is that Israel today is a net importer, and it takes away about 5% of their GDP. So they're projected by the end of the decade to become a net exporter, energy independent. That will directly impact their GDP growth, projected by 5%. So the prospects for Israel as a strong economy with a strong shekel and other factors make it a very compelling case for both in the past what they've accomplished and in the future. So we're very excited about that. They also have a strong credit rating, and that impacts borrowing costs and other significant factors that affect their economy. So now let's talk about the companies. You may be familiar with a lot of these companies, but the thing to note is that they are all global players, and they impact our daily lives with their technology and innovation. Just a couple examples to highlight. Checkpoint, most of you probably know, but they've developed the whole concept of firewalls, and they're still a leader in their industry. Stratasys, 3D printing, I think was mentioned before. They're also one of the leaders in that growing field. Wix.com just went public a few months ago. They help individuals and small businesses build their own websites and provide both web design and mobile devices. So helping grow that. They recently went public on the NASDAQ. SodaStream, many of you may know that not just from what makes it in your kitchen, but Scarlett Johansson on the Super Bowl is their spokesperson, so we're happy she's on board for many reasons. The thing about the companies is just like the economy, Israel's companies have global reach. So what's the implication? A lot of the companies that you saw, and many others, are not listed on the Tel Aviv Stock Exchange. A lot of the companies bypass the Tel Aviv Stock Exchange and list across the world. They list primarily in the US, but also in Poland, Singapore, London, and they're the existing indices, which you see in the chart. Big E is, I'll go into, is the acronym for the index we created, but the other indexes do not capture those companies, and it amounts to 54 billion, 45 billion plus. And those are significant companies, and in fact it causes, by having them included in our index, we broaden the conversation of what an Israel company is. In fact, we redefine what global Israel is from a public equities perspective. And the importance of that is that it offers a bigger market cap. So you have 22 billion for ours under Biggie, and MSCI and Tel Aviv Stock Exchange is smaller. And the other thing is weighting and diversification. So by having the 45 billion that's outside the US, it's not just high tech, it's agri-tech, it's biotech, it's all sorts of tech, it's consumer products like SodaStream. So by having a more complete picture of Israel, a broader category, more sector weighting, more balanced, it offers stronger returns. And you can see that here. 2 minutes to go. It's good. So our index that we've created represents the complete universe of Israeli companies and stocks. So it's a true representation of Israel's success story. And our performance since inception has been 20.68%. It even beat the S&P 500 at 13 and the other indices that represent Israel. So if you want to buy Israel and hear all the great stories, it's the most democratic product around. For $30 a share, it's listed on the New York Stock Exchange, and you can have a piece of Israel that's great for your portfolio. Not that I'm selling, but it really is a way for us to go out and talk about Israel in a meaningful and complete way, and offer investors the opportunity to enjoy all the global innovation and technology Israel has to offer. So thank you all for your time, and happy to answer any questions that you have.